Donato Bilancia was an Italian serial killer who murdered 17 people, 9 women and 8 men on the Italian Riviera, in the period from October 1997 to April 1998. Bilancia's inconsistent modus operandi made him difficult to identify and capture. There were no obvious links between the majority of his murders. He chose most of his victims at random, across a vast area of northern Italy, and became a synonym for fear among the people living along the Italian Riviera. He was given the nicknames Mostro della Liguria, or the Liguria Monster, and L'Assassino dei Treni, or Killer on the Trains. Initially attributed with only 9 homicides by the Italian police, Bilancia later confessed to having killed 8 other people. With a sentence to 13 terms of life imprisonment and no possibility of release, Bilancia has been defined by some newspapers as the worst serial killer in the history of Italy. Despite confessing to the killings, Bilancia never explicitly regretted his crimes, claiming that he did not consciously commit them because he was possessed by a disease. Bilancia died on the 17th of December 2020 in prison from COVID-19. First, I would like to remind everyone interested that giveaway is open. Giveaway for 1 month of Audible Premium. If you like reading and expanding your knowledge base, this is perfect opportunity to try Audible out if you haven't yet. Thank you for your support regardless. Last couple weeks were quite busy for me, and am nothing but grateful for your patience. If you like this type of content revolving around true crime, consider subscribing to my channel. It only takes a second and you can change your mind later. If you like this video in the end, like and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Now let's continue with our video, shall we? Born in Potenza, Basilicata, in 1951, Donato Bilancia's life took a troubling turn from early on. His family relocated to northern Italy, settling in Genoa within the Liguria region when he was young. Struggling with bedwetting until his early teens, Bilancia endured public humiliation, further deepening his psychological scars. A name change to Walter at 14 couldn't erase his challenging past. Education slipped away, replaced by a series of odd jobs: mechanic, bartender, baker, and delivery boy. His encounters with the law started young, stealing a motor scooter and later a truck loaded with Christmas treats, each time escaping with a slap on the wrist. An illegal gun landed him behind bars in 1974. A brief stint in the psychiatric unit of Genoa General Hospital ended in escape. Amid the turbulence, Bilancia's criminal journey took shape. Numerous prison terms in Italy and France followed, stemming from robberies and armed thefts. Intriguingly, violence remained absent from his record until the age of 47, despite his documented psychiatric struggles. Donato Bilancia, a solitary man and compulsive gambler, embarked on a chilling spree of violence that began with a betrayal. In October 1997, driven by a rigged card game that cost him £185,000, he strangled a friend who had deceived him. Authorities initially believed it was a natural death. Seeking revenge, Bilancia shot the mastermind behind the card game and the operator's wife, looting their safe. These initial acts seemed to awaken a dark impulse within him. He became addicted to murder. Armed with a .38 caliber revolver loaded with wad-cutter ammunition, he left victims in plain sight, making no effort to conceal his heinous deeds. He targeted a jeweler, a money changer, a night watchman, sex workers from various countries, and even innocent bystanders. His gruesome acts escalated, leaving behind a trail of fear and horror. In March 1998, Bilancia's violence took an even more sinister turn. While engaging in a horrifying act, he killed 2 night watchmen and shot a sex worker, who survived to aid in his identification. His audacious actions provoked widespread outrage, prompting the establishment of a dedicated police task force. His savagery reached a climax in April 1998. He took innocent lives and stole from them without remorse. His final act before capture was the murder of a service station attendant, seizing the day's earnings and fleeing the scene, leaving behind a legacy of terror and bloodshed. Following a meticulous investigation, Donato Bilancia's reign of terror came to an end. The telltale sighting of one of his victims entering a black Mercedes, along with other evidence, led the police to consider him their prime suspect. Over a span of 10 days, law enforcement surveilled his movements. Cigarette butts and a discarded coffee cup yielded his DNA, a crucial link to crime scenes. The decisive moment arrived on May 6, 1998, when authorities apprehended Bilancia at his residence in Genoa. His black revolver was confiscated, sealing his fate. 8 days of intense police custody prompted a confession from him. Over the course of 2 days, he unraveled the gruesome details of his actions, accompanying his words with 17 illustrative diagrams. Subsequently, after an exhaustive 11-month trial, justice prevailed. On April 12, 2000, Donato Bilancia received his sentence: 13 life imprisonments alongside an additional 20 years for the attempted murder of the surviving sex worker. The judge's decree was unwavering. Bilancia would never be granted freedom again. The impact of Donato Bilancia's horrifying criminal acts reverberated widely, leaving a lasting imprint on Italy's media landscape. His gruesome tale served as the inspiration for a television miniseries titled Ultima Palatala, The Last Bullet, directed by Michele Soavi. Aired in 2003 on Canale 5, the series featured actors Giulio Scarpati, portraying the investigator, and Carlo Cecchi, embodying the serial killer himself. In a controversial turn of events, Bilancia himself was interviewed live on Rai 1 during the program Domenica in 2004. This choice faced backlash and criticism. Additionally, it came to light that Beppe Grillo, the leader of the Five Star Movement political party, had been a childhood neighbor of Bilancia in Genoa. During his time in prison, Bilancia displayed an unexpected transformation. He earned the reputation of a model prisoner, achieving a diploma in accounting disciplines after 5 years of study in 2016. Subsequently, he delved into university studies in tourism disciplines. In 2017, he sought a commutation of his life imprisonment, an effort ultimately rejected by Italy's Supreme Court of Cassation. In an attempt to reconnect with a sense of normalcy, Bilancia was granted supervised temporary permits to leave prison, enabling him to visit his parents' resting place. However, his psychological profile remained concerning, and his requests for more temporary permits were denied. He had never undergone a psychological rehabilitation program and refused to express explicit remorse for his heinous acts. The chapter of Bilancia's life came to an end on December 17, 2020, when he succumbed to COVID-19 in Due Palazzi Prison, Padua, during the height of the pandemic in Italy. At the age of 69, his demise marked the conclusion of a story marred by violence and tragedy. The conclusion of the Donato Bilancia case stands as a solemn reminder of the profound impact of heinous crimes on society, moral standards, and the lives of the victims and their families. As the chapters of Bilancia's life drew to a close, his transformation within the prison walls demonstrated the complex nature of human behavior and the potential for change, even in the most unsettling circumstances. The ethical questions raised by his actions linger, forcing us to confront the darkness that can reside within individuals. His refusal to fully acknowledge the gravity of his crimes leaves a haunting void, underscoring the complexity of remorse and redemption. While his passing marked the end of his earthly existence, the pain and suffering inflicted upon the victims and their families endure. Each life lost is a poignant reminder of the fragile nature of existence and the far-reaching ramifications of one person's malevolent choices. The families forever carry the burden of grief and the unending questions of why such brutality was unleashed upon their loved ones. As we reflect upon the Donato Bilancia case, let us strive to nurture a world where compassion, understanding, and empathy prevail over violence and hatred. May this somber chapter inspire us to bolster our moral foundations, to cherish the sanctity of life, and to work tirelessly towards preventing such tragedies from ever occurring again. In closing, if you found this exploration of the Donato Bilancia case intriguing and informative, I invite you to like and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Thank you all for staying with us until the end of this presentation. I'm Alex, and this is Conundrum. Stay curious and stay safe.